No, it's up to each individual person. Do they want do they want to start a business or not? There is no one answer. It's just what you want. So that's point number one. Point number two is this. One of the things that I work with my clients on all the time is the balance between being happy and grateful for what I have, while at the same time striving for what I want.
Hey there, and welcome to Money and You. I'm Michelle Perkins, your host. My search for more fulfilling work led me to career and business coaching, where I stumbled upon a game-changing discovery. Money issues often start with our mindset and habits. You see, our relationship with money is the key to overcoming those frustrating financial obstacles. As an entrepreneur, coach, and problem solver, I'm passionate about helping you create a great relationship with money. Because, turns out, that's the foundation for a limit-free life. Each week on Money and You, I speak with amazing guests about all things money, mindset, practical tips, and everything in between. We're here to give you new insights, education, and empowerment so money can be one of your favorite relationships. So join us for some lively conversations and let's transform your financial life together. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Money and You Show. I'm your host, Michelle Perkins, and we have today part 2 of a great interview with Dr. Noah St. John. He is the creator of Done with Head Trash, has a new book out about head trash with money, and he is known worldwide as the father of affirmations and the creator of the 12-week breakthrough. He works with Hollywood celebrities, 8-figure company CEOs, and professional athletes. And Dr. Noah is famous for helping people make more in 12 weeks than they made in the previous 12 months while winning their lives back. He is the #1 best-selling author of 25 books, including the creator of what we just mentioned, Done with Head Trash. You can learn more at donewithheadtrash.com. And I am thrilled to have had Dr. Noah on a couple of times in earlier episodes. And he was with us last week, and he is with us again today. We ended up doing a part 1 and part 2. We spoke last time a lot about head trash and your inner game. And today we're going to move past that a little bit and go into your outer game. You need both, the inner and outer game. And Dr. Noah is the expert on this. And I cannot wait to have another conversation. I'm so honored that he is spending so much time with us. So thank you so much. And welcome, Dr. Noah.
Well, thank you. Well, yeah, so let's follow up on what we talked about last week, which was the inner game. So one of the things that I love talking to my clients and at my speaking engagements, my workshops, live events, virtual events for teams, companies, organizations around the world is this very topic right here. The combination of inner game and outer game. So as a nerd, I'm known as the nerdiest nerd in this industry, the self-help industry. I'm like the Sheldon Cooper of self-help because I love nerdy stuff. One of my favorite nerdy things is Venn diagrams. If you read any of my books or take any of my courses, you'll see I just use Venn diagrams all the time. Why? Because Venn diagrams really tell a story visually. And so I love Venn diagrams. Well, this is my very favorite Venn diagram, and it's a simple one. It's only 2 circles. So 2 circles come together, and the first circle is inner game. That's what we talked about in our last episode. So inner game is everything that happens between your ears, right? It's everything that includes things like your beliefs, your head trash, your desires, priorities, thoughts, decisions. You can't see any of those things. But what's fascinating is that you can't see a belief, but you see the effects of a belief everywhere, right? I talked earlier about health, wealth, and relationships. Well, it's obvious that you can be doing well in one area of your life, but maybe you're stuck or struggling in another. For example, maybe your health is really good. You're feeling good and you're looking good. You've got good, strong health, good, strong peace of mind, but maybe your money isn't really where you want it to be, right? Also, the reverse of that. Maybe you're making lots of money, but maybe your health is suffering. And maybe your relationships are suffering because you're working all the time. See, so it's not cookie cutter, one size fits all. It's a very customized, personalized approach that we take with our coaching, right? So that's the inner game. That's what we talked about last time. Now, we also have to look at the outer game. So what's the outer game? The outer game is everything you can see directly. It's right in front of your face, right? So this is all of the marketing, the sales, the customer service, all of the public-facing things that probably most people listening to this program have spent a lot of time and money on. But if you find yourself hitting an income ceiling, you will find that invariably you need to work on either your outer game or your inner game or both. I'll give you a perfect example of this. I was speaking at a seminar in Los Angeles for 1,000 business owners, and I did my presentation. I was walking off the stage, and a man came up to me and he said, "Noah, I want to hire you as my coach. You are the coach I've been looking for." Now, I didn't know this man from Adam. Ironically, his name was Adam. True story. I can't, not making up. You can go on my website and watch this video and many, many others. So I said, "Okay, what's going on?" He said, "Well, Noah, I own a software company and we got to 7 figures really fast, but we have been plateaued for the past 4 years." And he said, "I have spent so much money on marketing and sales and all this outer game stuff you just talked about. And it got us to 7 figures, but we haven't been able to break through." And he said, "As soon as I heard you speak on inner game, outer game, head trash, and affirmations, everything you just said," he said, "I knew that you were the coach I've been looking for." So he said, "I want to hire you." That's why I love working with high achievers, right? Because they make decisions quickly and friendly, didn't dilly-dally, didn't think, "Oh, I got to think about it." He just did it. So I coached him and his leadership team for 18 months. And in that 18 months, we were able to get his company that had been stuck for the previous 4 years to over 20 million in revenues. That's a 600% increase in less than 18 months. Most companies would be thrilled with a 10% increase. We get them 600%. So the point is, what's the point of the story? Outer game can get you so far. Probably everybody listening to this program has spent tons of money, time, and effort on the outer game, just like Adam did. And hey, it got him to 7 figures. Nothing to sneeze at. Very impressive. But because no one had shown him how to master his inner game, he was still stuck. So it's only when you master both the inner game and the outer game that you have the phenomenon called long-term success, happiness, and fulfillment.
Thank you for that. Again, whenever you're talking, I'm listening intently and things jump out at me. And one of the things, because I'm also listening, trying to be in the heads of people in the audience as well. And one thing that struck me, probably because I had this myself at one point, is you're talking about, okay, I have great health and I have, a great family, but my money isn't where I want. I know that there are people out there thinking, well, just be happy that you have the great health and the family. Why do you need everything? And that is a form of head trash too. And this allowing, I guess maybe this comes up in your first book, but how do people feel okay with wanting everything they want?
Oh, I love that. That's a beautiful question, Michelle. And I talk about that all the time in my coaching. It comes up all the time. So great question and very apropos. So what I like to tell my coaching clients, whether it's one-on-one like Adam, like I was talking about, or my group coaching clients, we have a program called the 12-Week Breakthrough because I'm known for helping people make more in 12 weeks they did in the previous 12 months. So it's called the 12-Week Breakthrough. You can learn more about that on my website. But one of the things that I talk about is exactly what you just brought up, which is, okay, I'm doing well. I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay. Why do I have to want more? What's wrong with what I have right now? And of course, my answer is nothing. There's nothing wrong with what you have right now. And you can certainly be happy. Nobody's here saying, "Hey, man, if you're not making 7, 8, 9 figures, then you're a failure. You're a loser." Oh, no. And there's people that say that.
Yes.
I'm not saying it. There's lots of people that say that. Man, I've literally heard all these gurus, they say, "Man, if you don't own a business, then you're a loser and you're a failure. And what do you think you're doing?" And I go, that is so jerky. I hate that. Because guess what? There's millions of people that love their jobs.
Right.
That don't want to own a business. Whose business is it of yours? Who are you to say that someone should have a business if they don't feel like it, they don't want to? That's not their dream. Just because you did it doesn't mean that person has to do it. Now, of course, there are also millions of people that hate their job, and they want to start a business. But see, that's what I'm saying. That they just take a sledgehammer approach, one size fits all. I'm like, dude, maybe that worked for you, but you're not everybody. There's an old saying that says, "To he who is good with the hammer, all the world is a nail." And that's how they see it. They see it like, well, boom, it worked for me. You should do what I did. Hey, shut up. No, it's up to each individual person Do they want, or do they want to start a business or not? There is no one answer. It's just what you want. So that's point number one. Point number two is this. One of the things that I work with my clients on all the time is the balance between being happy and grateful for what I have, while at the same time striving for what I want. Okay. Now, the word want literally means I don't have something. And it is only the unmet need that motivates. Only the unmet need motivates. Stephen Covey talked about this all the time. Stephen Covey, of course, wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He was my mentor from a distance. He didn't mentor me directly, but I studied him, and he was my inspiration for getting into this industry, the self-help industry. Because I read The 7 Habits many, many years ago, and it literally was the inspiration for doing what I do. And amazingly, I actually got to interview Dr. Covey back in 1996, before I'd ever written my first book. And I was in college at the time. I was a religious studies major. I was actually consciously following in Dr. Covey's footsteps because he was a religious studies major. I said, I want to be a religious studies major. So I did that. I was consciously, very purposely following in his footsteps. So I called his office. Now, you want to talk about an impossible goal, impossible dream? I literally called his office because he had inspired me so much. And I had been thinking about it for years. And finally I said, no, why don't you just call and see, right? Facing the head trash. This was before I even knew what head trash was, by the way. I didn't know any of the stuff that I've written about all these years. But anyway, so I called up and I got his assistant, his personal assistant, on the phone. And I said, hello, my name is Noah, and I'm in college. I'm studying Dr. Covey. He's been an inspiration to me. I just told the truth. And I said, I was just wondering if I could interview him. Now, in my mind, check this out. In my mind, I literally thought, well, they're going to say no, number one, or they're going to say, well, maybe 6 months to a year, right? Because he's a busy guy. This was when Covey was at the height of his career. So and she put me on a brief hold. She said, could you hold on for a moment? Checking a calendar, right? So I said, okay, it'll be 6 months, a year. She come back on the phone. How's Thursday? What? This is like Tuesday. How's Thursday? I'm like, wow. You see? All right. And I got to interview Dr. Covey, my hero, my mentor. And he was so amazing. And the reason I'm sharing this story is because of one thing that he told me that I never forgot. He was so great, so wonderful. So sadly, of course, he passed away back in 2013. But anyway, he said one thing to me because I asked him, I said, Doc, because I wanted to be an author. I knew I wanted to do what he did. And I said, Dr. Covey, how do you handle it when people worship you? Like when you were on stage and they just think you're the greatest thing in the world. How do you handle that? Because I wanted that to be me. Like I want people to think I'm great and wonderful and all that stuff. So he said something I never forgot. He said, Noah, I want people to leave my seminars more impressed with themselves than with me. Wow. What a beautiful statement. And isn't that the exact reverse of what all these gurus are doing out there today? This was, of course, long before social media. This was back in the 90s, basically before the internet even. But my point is, every one of these gurus say, hey, look at me, look how cool I am. Look at my sports car, look at my yacht, look at my jet, look at my helicopter. Yay, aren't I amazing? And I'm like, yeah, dude, you're amazing. Have you helped anyone else make money? And the answer usually is not so much, but hey, they've got lots of money. I don't care. Have you helped anyone else? Right? So that's why when you go to my website, you'll notice there's not a lot of pictures of me with my car and house. Yeah, I've got stuff. I have things. Who cares? What you'll see is over 250 case studies of people that I've helped to, yes, make a lot of money, $3 billion, lose weight, find love, have relationships, have a better life. So when Stephen Covey said that to me, it literally did change my life. And I think about it every single day.
Yeah, that's great. I love Stephen Covey too. I remember the stores. I used to every year go to buy my new Covey sweater. Oh my gosh. So I used to look so forward to that. So
I really love what you're saying. And, the material things, yeah, they catch your attention, like when people flash their airplanes and whatever. But the reality is that's not a vision. That's a thing that maybe you'll have someday. So I think,
what if you fleshed out that vision? What are you doing to get to the yacht? I mean, are you helping people? Are you writing? Are you, what is it that's leading you down the path? Because I do think one of the things is, as much as I love money and hope everybody else is reaching their financial goals, that can't be the goal. I mean, if the plane is the goal, it's not enough really to keep you waking up every day and doing what you need to do, and you don't even know what you need to do. Like, what is it that you're actually doing? So, which I think leads into what you're talking about. And I loved your answer about, helping people figure out what they want. If you don't know what you want, you're just, that's the most important thing, is to be super clear.
Yes.
So,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just, I flipped open your book, which we're going to talk about, the 7-figure.
Yep.
And it says your inner game determines 90% of your success. So the show we just did on, getting rid of your head trash and everything, that is, and that's a huge part of what I like people to understand, is that's the key. And then from there, what do we do?
Okay, so this is what I was talking about earlier, that beautiful Venn diagram, inner game and outer game. So yes, inner game is 90%. Make sure you study that. Make sure you get done with head trash. Get my book, get my course on that. Now let's look at the outer game, because you do have to do both, right? Like that Adam story I just shared. Hey, 7 figures, not bad. Hey, well, we can get to 8, whatever. But let's put this in place. So one of the things that I talk about with my clients and work on is what I call the golden triangle. All right, the golden triangle has 3 points to it, and that is money, meaning, and freedom. Money, meaning, and freedom, right? So if you're wanting to build a 7 or 8 figure lifestyle business, that's what it is, right? Going to your point that you just talked about, money. Money's freaking important. Last time I checked on planet Earth. Yeah, we all know that. But what about meaning? What about why you're doing this in the first place? So there's a lot of miserable millionaires out there. You don't want to be one of those. You want to be a happy millionaire. Right? So yeah, of course we can have it all. So money is the first point, meaning, and then freedom. Most entrepreneurs are chained to their business with chains that are stronger than steel. And that means they created basically a not so great paying job for themselves. Right? Meanwhile, they work for a crazy person themselves. I want to get away from that boss. Boy, he's a jerk. And now I work for someone who's nuts. So we got to get out of that whole deal, right? So money, meaning, and freedom, boom. That's the golden triangle. So there are 3 main problems that I solve for my clients, all right? There are 3 main problems when it comes to the outer game. The first problem, very simply, is not enough sales. You just don't have enough sales to get to that 7 or 8 figure lifestyle business that I talked about, right? Not enough sales. That's the first problem. The second problem is you don't have enough conversions, right? That means people are seeing your offers, but they're not converting. Right? So maybe somebody lands on your landing page or lands on your sales page and they're like, I don't like it. It's not good enough. They go away. Now, let's be super clear here. Most people will go away, right? A good percentage on a sales page is 3%. 2 to 3%, and you are golden. Well, that means 97 out of 100 people said no. So just think about that. Right there, I just brought up another inner game issue. If you're afraid of rejection, you're going to not even build the funnel. Did you know that over 250,000 people are on ClickFunnels and less than 10% of them have ever built one funnel? Gee, I wonder why. What I fixed 30 years ago. You're welcome. All right. So that's the second problem. So we have not enough sales, not enough conversions. And then the third problem, very simply, not enough leads. If you ask every business owner on planet Earth, what is your biggest problem? They would say leads. I don't have enough leads. And I would argue, yeah, well, that's one of the 3 problems I just talked about. Okay. So most business owners say, I have a leads problem. Maybe, but more than likely you have all 3 of these problems. All right. So how do we fix the 3 problems? Very simple. I talk about this in my book, The 7-Figure Expert, and I have a program called The 7-Figure Machine, because I'm literally helping people. Helping people to build a 7-figure machine. What's a machine? A machine is a thing that does something without you having to do it, right? Like a car is a machine. A car is a machine that gets you from point A to point B a heck of a lot faster than you walking. All right. So most business owners don't have a machine. They have, it's called them walking and going, I wonder why I'm so tired every time I have to go to the grocery store. Well, because you're walking. Let's build a machine that does the work so you don't have to. All right. So how do we fix not enough sales? Well, we fix not enough sales with the right offers. That's the first step. First step is the right offers. We call them $1 million offers or irresistible offers. The point is, when someone sees your offer, do they go, oh my God, I've got to have that? Or do they go, what is that again? If they go, what is that again? You're done. We've all heard this a million times. A confused mind says no. True, right? A confused mind says no. The fact is that we Americans are confronted with, studies show, 5,000 marketing messages per day. I don't understand how that's possible, but that's what studies show. 5,000 a day? That's one a second? I don't know how that's possible. I swear I don't, but that's what the studies show. I mean, but even let's just say it's 500 a day. That's still a heck of a lot, right? So anyway, the point is, how are you going to cut through the noise? How are you going to cut through the clutter? By having these irresistible offers, right? So that's step number one. Step number two, how do we fix not enough conversions? By creating the right funnels. So an offer is what you're selling. A funnel is how you sell it, right? So you can have the greatest thing in the world, but if you don't talk about it right, if you don't have the writing skills or the machine in place, that once somebody lands on that page, they say, oh my gosh, I got to have it. You're not going to be able to scale up. And then the third problem, right? Not enough leads. How do we fix that? With the right traffic, right? So we have those three steps. It's all right here in my book, The 7-Figure Expert. And by the way, well, we forgot to mention this, you can get this book for free too, right? We talked about a free book in the first episode. So 7figureexpertbook.com. Make sure you put the book in there. 7figureexpertbook.com. And the book is free. Just cover shipping. 7figureexpertbook.com. Boom. And I walk you through all of that, including the inner game, by the way. So we start with inner game, which is what we talked about last time. And then I walk you through these 3 steps of the outer game, the right offers, the right funnels, and the right traffic. Boom. That's going to change your life and change your business and really change your future.
Yeah, and that, this is all marketing, really. I mean, what we're talking about is marketing, and I think what a lot of people, I did this when I started coaching. The last thing I was thinking about was marketing.
Yeah.
Coach, and I was thinking, how do I get clients? But you don't realize how important marketing is going to be if you're a business owner, even if you're a professional. I mean, just getting your next job or your next promotion. I mean, it's all marketing. And so it is very, very important to understand and, put yourself in that position where you are able to do that well. So, and do you get resistance to that? Do people have, I know I have my own head trash around whether or not I'm a good marketer. So, is it just a matter of learning this? Is it a matter of getting help with this? So how do people go?
What I have observed is there are natural born marketers.
Yeah.
A good example of this is my good friend, Gary Vaynerchuk. We all know Gary Vaynerchuk. Why? Because he's a natural born marketer. He just is. Okay. And if you go to my website, go to noahstjohn.com, you will see a video that no one else on planet Earth has. It is a video of Gary Vaynerchuk in my car in the year 2008 when his very first book came up. This is when he was still doing Wine Library TV. You can also go on YouTube and just search Gary Vaynerchuk, Noah St. John. And that is a video that no one else on planet Earth has. I hosted him when he was doing his very first book signing here in Cleveland, Ohio. And that's another great example of what I did. I saw that he was coming to Ohio. What did I do? I picked up the phone. I said, hey, I'd like to host Gary when he's here. I absolutely knew they were going to reject me. They said, yeah, sure, that sounds great. I'll send you his info. He's in my car. I've got a video. No one can get this now. It is impossible unless you pay him about $500,000. But my point is this. The point of the story is, yes, there are people like him that are natural born marketers. And that is precisely why he's a lousy teacher of it. I love Gary. He's one of my favorite guys, but he can't teach this because he's unconscious. He is as unconscious as Michael Jordan is. Hey, Michael Jordan, can you show me how to be great at basketball? I mean, and he can tell you things. Well, you do that. Dude, you're Michael Jordan. You're unconscious. Okay. Now, does that mean those types of people, they don't work hard, they don't put in the effort? Of course, it doesn't mean any of that. But they don't, because they're unconscious, they can't really break it down because they're like, well, just do it. Okay. Yeah, I get it, Gary. Thank you. But you didn't say anything.
You bring up such a great point about how we learn. I mean, everybody's just, chomping at the bit for all the information out there from all the self-improvement folks, but aren't good at really telling you what to do and how to do it.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's why it was so annoying to me, because I am absolutely not a natural marketer or salesperson. So I had to learn all this junk, and I hated every step of it. I hated it. I absolutely hated it. And the reason that I hated it was because the guys who are teaching this can't teach their way out of a paper bag.
they can do it, but they can't teach it.
Exactly. They're great at getting attention for themselves. But what you will find, and I bet everybody listening to this program can identify with this, the more amazing they are at self-promotion, the lousier they are at teaching. And that sucks because so many people now have been burned by these guys. They've been burned by these so-called gurus because they're so good at marketing that you go, well, he's that good. I'm sure he can teach me. I paid those guys $500,000 only to find out they can't teach their way out of a paper bag. And so that, of course, was very annoying to me, but I'm certainly not alone in that. I mean, I would argue at this point, most people that you talk to have been burned by those guys. So we are very, very unfortunately used to being over-promised and under-delivered, right? And that's why Gary, going back to my friend Gary again, he says marketers ruin everything. Yeah, they really, really do. Marketers ruin everything because they lie so much, and they don't deliver on their promises. So that's very interesting because the people that I coach are very, very good at what they do, but they seem to be very shy about promoting themselves. So it's the good old Dunning-Kruger effect. The better you think you are, usually the worse you are. Meanwhile, the people who are so talented and really good at what they do are very shy and quiet most of the time, which is sad. So my job, I feel a big part of my mission is to level the playing field. I want to get great people out there. Give them, yes, the inner game and the outer game. Because the people that are caring people, that really do want to help people, that want to make a difference, want to make an impact, they have not been served properly. And so that's why I'm very passionate about this, as you can tell.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, and you're right. There's so many amazing people out there who are flying under the radar, and people don't know.
That's right.
I know background singers who are way better singers than the people making all the money. But, there's something that you have called the 4-step freedom lifestyle formula.
Yep.
Have you touched on that, or want to talk about that for just a minute?
Absolutely. So this is related to my my golden triangle I talked about a moment ago.
Yeah.
But the 4 elements of a freedom lifestyle are time, energy, relationships, and money. All right. So again, I touched on this briefly, but if you look at time, energy, relationships, and money, that's what we have, and that's what we desire as human beings. So everybody that I coach, everybody that I talk to in my seminars, they want more time, right? Everybody wants more time. And what's fascinating is time really is the most valuable resource we have as humans. Why? Because it's the only one that can't be replaced. All of Bill Gates' billions can't buy 1 minute of yesterday. So time, once it's gone forever, right? And what's fascinating about that is that everybody thinks they'll live forever, or at least everybody's acting that way, right? That's why people say, oh, I'll get around to it later. No, you won't. You really won't. There is no later. There's no such thing as later. And of course, yes, I know there is. But I want people to realize that when you do that, what you are telling yourself is you're not that important. Why are you putting yourself last? Right? So things like that. So time, energy is how you go through your day, right? How do you go through your day? Do you have high energy or low energy, meaning, happy, grateful, joyful, laughing, or sad, depressed, beating yourself up, right? So those are the two types of energy, high and low energy. Obviously, we want to be on the high energy, right? Why do you think so many people drink coffee? What? Did he say that? Yes, he did. Sorry. I know, slap me around. Anyway, so then there's time, energy, relationships. I've already talked about how important relationships are. And of course, money. Duh, money's very important. I love something I talk about all the time. According to the great philosopher David Lee Roth, who said, money may not be able to buy happiness, but it can buy a yacht so you can pull right up next to it. Great quote. Thanks, Dave. Anyway, so when you look at time, energy, relationships, and money, that's what we all want and what we all have. So the key is, how do we use what we have to get more of what we want? I'll give you a perfect example. I was working with a chiropractor up in Canada named Stacy, and she was a very great, really good, talented chiropractor. And she said, she came to one of my events and she said, hey, Noah, I really want to make more money. So what I think I'm going to do is, get better at marketing, and I'm going to, double my practice and see more patients. And that's how I'm going to make more money. I said, that sounds great, Stacy. Do you realize you just told me that you want to be more miserable? And she goes, what do you mean? I said, well, let's say you double your practice. That means you're going to double your time away from your family, right? She goes, well, yeah. I said, there's only one of you, right? She goes, yeah. I said, you only have two hands, right? She goes, yeah. I said, well, why don't we just take what's in your head and put it out in an online course and a book, and we package it up, and then we can sell it to the whole planet, not just the people in your area. She goes, oh, wow, I never thought of that. Long story short, 90 days later, 12 weeks later, she was making more than ever before and working less. So she got to spend more time with her family. And now she literally makes money in her sleep. So that's how the outer game can affect you as well as the inner game. So once you put those together, as I said earlier, you put your inner game with your outer game, boom, you become unstoppable.
Oh, I love that. And I love your comment about time, because you're so right. And time moves quickly. So, when you're waiting to do that thing, and then all of a sudden 20 years have gone by, you realize you don't have, whatever in front of you like you did. And so it really is it's not meant to make people hurry and ask about what they're not doing, but it is meant to, I guess, remind people that if there really is a dream or a want that is, big in your mind, it's just
start now. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today.
Yeah. Game. It's hard these days to not just spend a minute discussing AI and how you might be integrating that into some of what you're doing at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Boy, I'm so glad you asked me, because we have two amazing things with AI. I absolutely love AI. I have been using it every single day for the last almost 3 years. I love it, love it, love it, love it so much that I created two things that everybody here can actually take advantage of. And that number one is a free custom GPT that I created, and it's called the $1 Million Business Gap Finder. So what it's going to do is, all you have to do is go to freegiftfromnoah.com. Boy, it's that easy to remember. Freegiftfromnoah.com. Go to freegiftfromnoah.com, and you just put in your email, and then it'll take you to my custom GPT. All you need is a, Chat GPT account, which I'm sure everybody has that by now, whether it's free or paid, doesn't matter. But it'll take you to Chat GPT, and then it will just ask you a few questions, and you can literally just answer, and it will show you where the gaps are between where you are and where you want to be. Whether you want to go from 10K to 100K a month, 100K to a million to 10, or 10 to 100 million, wherever you want to go. All right, so that's the first thing, freegiftfromnoah.com. And then, this is so exciting, we're just launching this week. It's called the Noah Bot. Yes, the Noah Bot. So what have I done? My team and I have taken my brain, my 25 books, we have actually fed it into artificial intelligence. And if you go to noahbot.me, and you can actually sign up. It's $20 a month or $200 for the year. So you say you get two months free. And it actually is a bot. It's exactly like getting me in your pocket at your fingertips 24/7. You can ask me anything you want, and it will answer as if me, Noah, is answering you. It's a bot. Me, right in your pocket.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. We just launched it this week, so I'm so excited. You're actually the first show that I get to share this on. That's why I'm so thrilled, because I have been wanting this for about a year now. I'm like, how can we take my brain and feed it in and make it an AI? Boom, we did it. And so NoahBot.me, you can have me 24/7 coaching you. Now, of course, if you want to get the human me, go to noahstjohn.com, or even better, go to breakthroughwithnoah.com. You can actually book a call with me or one of my coaches. Go to breakthroughwithnoah.com, and we will schedule a 15-minute business evaluation for you, and we'll evaluate your business. Where is that gap, right? So if you go to that, get that free gift from noah.com, and then you can actually come armed with that information to the breakthrough call. You can say, hey, listen, here's where the gap is. Can you help me get and bridge the gap? Boom, we can do that. And then, we, of course, will give you some recommendations. But that's at breakthroughwithnoah.com. Basically, anything with Noah, well, it's pretty much me.
Wow, that is super exciting. I know that. What a breakthrough for you to be able to do that. That's very, very cool. Yep. So, and I think if people have not been playing with this, it's a great place to start, to go and get your GPT, because that's where you can really lean into AI and how to use it, and get some really valuable information from there. So very, very cool. Well, congratulations on that. Thank you. It's really exciting.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, I think you have given our audience a great deal to think about between the resources, and we talked about your head trash book, and your program for that in the last show. So if you didn't go to part 1, if you haven't listened to that, please go back and listen to part 1, because it really is the building block for this show. And then we have your 7-figure expert book and all the other things that you just mentioned. So we'll put links to everything. There is the free gift from Noah.com for the bot, correct? Is that
free gift from Noah is the custom GPT, the $1 Million Gap Finder, and then NoahBot.me. NoahBot.me is the NoahBot.
I have them both written down, so we'll get the show notes. And very, very exciting. And I just think, if nothing else, I'll let you tell the audience what the overall takeaway, what might be from your perspective, and then I'll give you mine.
Whatever you do, whatever you want to do, make sure you do whatever it takes to master your inner game and master your outer game. Yes, you do have to do both. So I've given you tons of resources from me. Of course, do whatever you need to do, but make sure you get the help you need. Don't wait. Don't be like me. I waited years to get help. Don't do that. Don't make the same mistake I did. Get the help. I've created tons of resources for you, both free and paid, but it doesn't matter. Just start today. Don't put off your future, because your future is coming and we only have so much time on this planet. Don't waste it. Use it, leverage it, and use what you have to get more of what you really want.
Yeah, I love that. That's a great way to end. And I can't really add too much to that, except just to say, whatever it is that you want. I mean, I believe in a limit-free life. So whatever it is that you want, feel free to, create that fulfilled and full life for yourself, and don't let any head trash stop you from going for your dreams. I mean, it's okay to think big and to go for some big things. It's actually more than okay. It's great. It allows you to really live your best life and to help others and have impact for others along the way, which is exactly what Dr. Noah has been doing all this time. And we appreciate it and you. And thank you so much for coming and doing it with us. That's so fantastic. So great gift for me, for the audience, and for future people listening to this show. So thank you. We appreciate all your time and wisdom, and we'll be watching out for you. Don't stop. So I'm sure there'll be more. So thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah. Audience, thank you so much for showing up for us and for subscribing to the Money and You show. And you can find us all over the place, all the podcast platforms, the Limit Free Life YouTube channel. And stay with us. Share the show with your friends. Give us a like and a review and whatever there is out there that can help us to grow. So thank you so much. We'll see you next week.